Yeah, this is definitely fun. This is fun. I think this is a good day to get a little lost in the sauce, have fun with my prep decks. Just kind of going a little mediocre. And we can, you know, just defend our point, saying Riveteer's Ascendancy pitches to Grief and Fury. How bad can it be? Riveteer's Ascendancy, John's Scam. Beautiful title. Oh man, I do always like to have these brewing stream like portions of the stream, but they're really hard to have happen like very organic. Like, you know, you can't force them; they have to happen organically. Our goal is to just put a Riveteer's Ascendancy trigger onto the stack, I think, and then maybe like I can like take a closer look at this, and then maybe like again like this. I was mostly interested too because I've had this like a little while where this is just like I've been thinking about splashing Riveteer's Charm at Red and 6 in Jund Scam for a while because like your curve is like super low with this version. Like these are 0 drops and like you can charm into like the 0 drops with the Fury Grief as well. I thought that was kind of interesting, but I'm not sure how good it is. I haven't play tested it, but I already had like the list like half built, so it's kind of smooth. Okay, just a normal hand. One of Dryad Arbor, dude. I just like if Dryad Arbor tapped for red or black, I'd consider it, but like this deck is just like almost all red and black spells, you know. Okay, we're up against. We're up against Omnath immediately. Oh boy. Okay. Do I Grief Malika Rebirth this turn? It's either that or go Voidwalker pitch Malika Rebirth. Sideboard Foundation Breaker. That's a good thought. We'll reconsider it. I think I like the idea of maybe being able to Voidwalker like an Omnath or something. I mean, I guess I'll just leave them with 2 pairs. Very, very strong hand, unfortunately. But it is true if they go pick up Misty Rainforest, crack Misty Rainforest, the Misty gets exiled, and they are not going to be able to just to fairy bounce. So they go for an expressive iteration. Plays Beseiju. Abundant Growth. Pick up Misty, probably. 50% on 2-2 or worse. Yeah, that's less than I expected. Channel was pretty good draw, though. Just like, because now they have to go to Fairy Bounce Voidwalker, I can kill the Teferi pretty freely. One person put 150k on 2-2 or worse. Pretty good bet, probably. I mean, Voidwalker's doing good against their Delirium plan. I may just cash in the Voidwalker for... Oh yeah, I should cash in the Voidwalker for an iteration because I can try to Riveteer's Ascendancy. Riveteer's Ascendancy it back, huh? Get a Scry, or Surveil rather. Graveyards, instant for Delirium. It's pretty good. I think just save the Ragavan to dash. Didn't find Delirium off the +1. It's okay. Fortune Pan, thank you for the Switch Prime. Appreciate you. So if we draw Riveteer's Ascendancy, We don't have anything to sack to our grist to trigger it, but that is something that can trigger it. I don't know. Thanks again, Fortune. Appreciate ya. If they besiege your ascendancy, is that ramp? I mean, kinda. We're having a little bit of fun today, opponent. I think I'll cycle. I would like to cycle a Triumph with their Red and 6 in hand, if possible. Found Delirium. I don't have many instants or sorceries in the deck, so I think I should probably just Red and 6 ping to Fairy, attack my opponent for 5. Especially with this Grist ultimate. Looming. Okay, good hit, good hit. Magnet Lad, great username. Thank you for the 20 months. You know what I'm here for? A sim for any Ascendancy card at this point, yeah. So this could be a fun stream. This could be a fun stream. Sorry, who was it? I'm so bad at remembering any username ever, which makes me the worst streamer on the platform. But who was it again that suggested the deck? Oh, would you the Proving Ground? Awesome. Because I'm willing to wager. I think if we go 4-1 or better, I think we should VIP who it was, but I can't remember the username, but I'll remember it this time for sure. Me? Because you cannibal? I don't think... That doesn't sound right. I think we're all claiming it. I don't think it was you. Everybody's claiming it. Everybody wants the VIP. But nobody wants to put in the work. Nobody wants to suggest Coco Soul Herder or Riveteer's Ascendancy. It was Don. Yeah, Don sounds right. It was Don. Okay, Don. So 4-1, you accepted the proposed deal. 4-1 VIP. Yeah, Don sounds right. What's the difference between VIP and not? VIP has all the clout, none of the power of a mod. Okay, so if I ultimate this Grist, it's 5 damage. I think I'm just gonna start off with Dash Ragavan. Counterspell. Ultimate Grist, now 6 damage. 6, 7, 8. I can put them to 1, but... Oh no, I can kill them with the second Red and 6 ping. Oh, let me attack with the Insect first. And I guess I could use second Red and 6 ping before ultimating, because I can maybe surveil something into the yard with Channeler. Dude, they're solituding the Insect token! Oh no, I could have evoked. I could have evoked. Oh no, I'm throwing. I'm throwing. Sorry, I could have evoked. If I hit a creature though, it's lethal. Yeah, throwing. Dude, when you're like surveilling Riveteer's Ascendancy into the graveyard of these cutters, oh, dude, no, they just have the freaking Omnath. Of course they have the stupid Omnath. No, they can fetch twice. Oh, they fetch twice to kill Ren. They have to answer the Channeler. I hate this. This happens so... I mean, I punted. I could have evoked the Fury. And then that would have been lethal. I can also go Hardcast Grist plus Fury next turn. Shouldn't be too bad. They also have to deal with this Channeler, okay, which they are going to do so. They find Solitude, Hardcast Solitude. Yeah, should have kept Ascendancy, huh? Should we have? What does it do? Anything? Ooh. I guess I should Voidwalker over Grist here. But look at us going toe to toe with the 4-color deck. Although if they have a land, they can Yori on this turn. But they're dead if they Yori on this turn. If they don't have another 0-mana spell. But this is like I've just been in so many games where like it's just the only thing that ever stabilizes them is on math, and then they have it, you know. Oh no, wait, sorry, I was thinking that they would have to Solitude the Fury. They could just Solitude the Voidwalker. Solitude the Voidwalker, and then they're not dead. Unfortunately, not dead. Please, Riveteer's Ascendancy. So I think we should go Voidwalker, Grist, kill Yorion, attack, make them chomp. We also have 3 Croaks in the deck to draw into. Croaks would be really good here. Fire, thank you for 2 months. Appreciate you. Spike, you need a haircut? Well, you need to leave better comments in my Twitch chat. The gravest sin of a Twitch chatter to insinuate that I need a haircut. Yeah, no, you're not wrong, though. They have 5 cards not bouncing the Fury. Croaksa. All the Voidwalkers. Alright, what do you have to answer my Fury today, opponent? Probably another Solitude. Why not 2 Undying Evils instead of split with Feign Death? Undying Evil doesn't work if... I mean, I should probably actually just have 2 Feign Deaths, right? Or the Feign Death enters tapped. But if the creature has a +1 counter on it, then... Undying Evil doesn't bring it back, but Feign Death does. Is the thought behind the split. Yeah, it feels bad knowing we punted. First game with the deck, hard line, but... Should have been able to seen it. We're also, the game's not over too, just like Croaksa, like milling over Croaksa, drawing a spell for turn could like definitely get me back in this. Like if I mill over Croaksa here, oh my gosh. Dude, top decking Grief, milling over Croaksa is like literally as good as it gets. I guess milling over another Grist first. Maybe it just doesn't matter. Well, if they counter this, it's not the end of the world. Thoughts on Malik Rebirth? I mean, that card, I'm playing 4 of them. It's like the best enabler because you can play it as a land, I think. Rough. We're fighting through it, though. We're fighting through it. A little bit of Copium, maybe. They're down to 2 cards, though. We have 2 more Crooks in the deck. Oh, they're down to 3 life, although I guess they get to gain some life here. And then they heat my Germ Token, kill my Grist. Fairy goes to 3. Okay, if their hand's 2 lands, you draw a Croak, so we win. Let's draw Privateer's Ascendancy and just lose. Fury's a good top deck. Fury's actually really good. Dude, there's actually like a solid chance that they just have 2 lands. Spanked even 2 months? Croaksa? Dude, no way. Please. I've never wanted anything before in a match of Magic. I've never. Oh man, if that last card is a land, we win. If that last card's a land, we win. They discard the Scalding Tarn that we know about. They're not conceding yet. Oh, please. Thinking way too much about this. Okay. Yeah! Oh, no, sorry. I thought they were F6 and they're just dying. Sorry. Shouldn't have been that hyped. Damn it. It really looked like for a second they didn't have it. And then they top deck Expressive Iteration, and then they can... fuck. Wait, they have Manamorphose in their deck? What? Damn it. It's obviously my fault. I punted, but I didn't invoke the Fury. Okay, let's just draw our 3rd Croaks in a row. Yeah, Metamorphosis is so weird. I've like never seen it. I have a lot of life though. I have a lot of life. I have Fury. Fury is a good top deck, but the best top deck is probably the last Croxa. Basically nothing to play at instant speed. 2 Metamorphoses. Into Solitude. Do they bounce the Solitude? That's a fairy. Oh, come on. No. How did they just have 6 cards in their hand? I guess a lot of them are lands. A few turns ago, when it Croaks into group, you better sequence to give them less info. I mean, it's better against like a Solitude in hand. I don't really know how much the info matters. Valakut Awakening? Get rid of all their lands? How do I top deck like you can? I don't know, dude. we have been running pretty well today. Or this game. Yeah, I don't think that Metamorphose is it. Okay, we can yield. Tough match. Obviously, could have won too. No one to blame, but me. I probably want to play the 4th Grist. I kind of feel like we should stipulation not side out Riveteer's Ascendancy. Get the 4th Fury. Shriekmaw kills their whole deck. Doesn't kill Fairy, doesn't kill Rin and 6, but like I also think, well, I guess having like maybe Shriekmaw. No, I play the 4th Fury over the first Shriekmaw too. Yeah. I just don't think you want that much creature removal against their deck. Like their deck is really good against creature removal because they all ETB draw cards. Ob seems good. In my opinion, Ob is like horrible against Omnath. They just like they can just completely tank all the damage or discard the lands. Like they get back with Red and 6. It's just so often like has no text. No Fulminators. I don't think Fulminator is good against 4-color. It's, you know, that maybe has its moments. Not that hard for them to just fetch basics either, though. So am I just slamming Riveteer's Ascendancy? It's probably better to go Channeler Rin and 6. Okay, well, never mind. Alright, get the Rin and 6 going, I guess. Yeah, this definitely does feel like 3-mana enchantment, no text. I got scammed, what can I say? Oh, there's some text. Kind of. Alright, let's just play it. Resolves, baby. My part also miscellaneous drop, but resolves. No, sorry, we are the player. Never mind. Never mind. We're kind of ahead on card advantage though. We got Solituded, we've Ren 6+ twice. My opponent says, oh. Seems really fun and not optimal. Yeah, definitely not optimal, but also definitely really fun. My opponent says, won't touch it, want to see it in action. Okay, I hope that they Unholy Heat this and just get it back with the Croxa. It's maybe asking a little too much. So Sacred Foundry, because I think we just played Channeler, tapped Blood Crypt, and then hopefully one of these dies, we get it back with the Croaks, the Ascendancy. Oh, this card's so bad. But then we can also maybe go Croxa, rebirth the Croxa. Get 2 cards out of their hand, trigger the Channeler. Barf. Okay. I think we're gonna unlock the stipulation chat. Oh, whoops. The stipulation of trigger the Trigger the Riveteer's Ascendancy once. I guess I should also probably Malika Rebirth this. Just 1 mana, you discard a card. Let's go. Wait, it is tapped? Oh, why is this card? Everything about it's so bad. Yeah, 3 mana to spin to Unearth. It discards 2 lands. We did it though. Mission accomplished. We put this trigger on the stack. Is there any merit to going all in? I mean, there's not merit to going all in because being all in on Riveteer's Ascendancy, like Ascendancy is so bad. Like the card is like just not good enough to build around. But I do think that being somewhat in on it when it has a lot of synergy already in a deck like this is fine. If that makes sense. Like again, you don't want to be all in on a strategy like this, but you can be somewhat in on it, and it's going to be like synergistic with a strategy like this. But like diminishing your card quality, you're already kind of weak card quality by playing cards like Stitcher Supplier, which Stitcher Supplier is a really weak, like high synergy card. I just don't think is worth it. But in a deck like this, where Ascendancy does have a lot of synergy with a lot of good cards, right? It has a lot of synergy with Kroxa and Voidwalker and Fury and Grief and Grist, which are all like Modern Horizons 2 staples, you know, Modern Horizons 2 good cards. Like this is definitely like the way I'd like to try to build the deck instead, is with the good cards. I guess I should play around Solitude actually, but just attacking here. I don't want Solitude to hit the Ragavan. Okay, I guess I'll Malika Rebirth the Channeler too. Okay, so I have Grist on top. I think I still keep the Grist in the yard because it's just 2 types for Delirium. Oh, sorry, I have to exile everything. Never mind. I could crack a fetch land, keep the Grist in the yard, but then I lose the Grist on top of my library, so I'll just I could also lose the treasure token. I'll keep the treasure around. They have to discard a spell, or they die. Discards Prismatic Ending. Kills Channeler. So if I Grist minus on the Kroxa, my Channeler comes back tapped. Oh, sorry, I should have dashed this Ragavan. Although it is worse against the Solitude, I guess. Yes, people have suggested Dryad Arbor, of course. Anytime you play any bad deck with creatures in it, people are like, Dryad Arbor. The answer to all of any deck's problems. The ability to fetch a Dryad Arbor. So probably just let this hit happen. And try to double block. Well, the fetch land's pretty awkward. Okay, now I have to jump block. He's getting so much life. Yorion in the hand. Grief would be a good draw. Crooks would be a good draw. Okay, there's Grief. No counterspell, please. Like, literally, why does Omnath play Veil of Summer? Like, literally, why do they play Veil of Summer? For the Living End matchup, I just, like... They're already so good against Gracious Shadow and Murktide, and their sideboard is already so bad because they play Yorion. Why do they play Veil of Summer? Ugh. Sack Grief, Grist, get back Grief. Sack Grief with Grist, get back Grief. I can't get back Grief. You have to get a lower mana value, but I could get back the Grist. Yeah, those may be the line. Maybe sack. Oh, I can't. There's a Veil of Summer. I can't kill anything. Yeah, they just have to be the ultimate villains, I guess. So it puts Grist at the 4 instead of the 3. Yeah, but I'm also like just throwing my Grief away, right? Like the Grief just, like I'm just in that exchange. I trade Grief for 1 insect token and 1 loyalty on Grist, which doesn't seem good. Okay. Maybe have one more top deck. If I control Grist, kill Omnath, Grist, kill Omnath, then Voidwalker, get back a 1-drop. I don't know. Well, always tough to be playing Goofy New Brew, play against Omnath immediately. Richard's Ascendancy. I just got debated a little bit by chat. I don't know. Someone suggested playing it, and then we started talking about the card, and we kind of identified that it worked well in the scam, or it had like some interesting synergies in the scam pile, but it's almost definitely not good. Is DRC a bit of a scam? I think DRC is good. I mean, I think you just want good 1-mana creatures to bring back. Stitcher Supplier? I hate Stitcher Supplier so much, but I guess you've caught me. I guess that is technically one. Unlucky Witness. Well, that's a dying effect, but yeah, Witness would maybe be good. Ooh, Grazer. Okay, I'll take Lightning Bolt, and then probably just taking Searing Blaze. Should have pitched the Ascendancy. Asmo's, yeah, I guess there's some, huh? But at the very least, I don't think any of these cards make much sense in this deck. Maybe the Epicure does. But it's also like you're playing these cards over like Ragavan and Channeler. Yeah, Unlucky Witness is kind of interesting. I don't know. We played Unlucky Witness in plenty of sacrifice decks. I don't think that this is like the card that breaks like Riveteer's Ascendancy though. Okay, they kill my Ragavan. Take 2. So what happens if I just never play another spell? Like this Channeler isn't Delirious. We're 1 type short. The Grist is probably worth casting. I just kind of feel like we're maybe okay to net. You know, just chill and race. Oh, Asmo being 0 mana is actually kind of sick, though, with Ascendancy, because you can sack a 1 mana creature to get it back. Another Searing Blaze is gross. So if I draw a Fury, I can go Ascendancy, pitch Fury, kill this, get back Grief. Down to 6, my opponent's at 4. Down to 4. I think the plan is to just chump and Ultimate Grist in 2 turns. Because my opponent can't cast 2 burn spells. I did the Boros Charm or Helix plus burn spell. But they can't cast 2 burn spells. So I can just go plus, block, and if they have 1 burn spell, that's okay. They're locked out of the game. Death's Oasis. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, mill 2 cards and return a creature with lesser mana value that creature died to hand. I mean, returning to hand instead of play is so bad. Those trigger multiple times a turn. Have I tried Espergores with Witch's Cottage? I played it like kind of briefly off stream. My issue is that my issue with it is that I think it's a worse version of like the Muldrifter version, you know. Just like not playing Muldrifter is such a huge hindrance, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I only played like 3 matches. I need to circle back to it some. I have a lot of playtesting to do tonight. I also have to record my channel Fireball video, finish up an article. Lots to do all the time. Tap Birth lets us cast Grief. Yeah, I guess I should have played it as a land. But I'm also kind of like locked in to this plan. Like this plan is either going to work right now or it's or it's not. Like we did a Boris Charm. Cool. Take a 2 endurance against 4 color math. What is there supposed to be? Yeah, there's a typo there. I forgot to message Channel Fireball about it. For Reanimator against 4 color Omnath, you bring in the 2 Teferi Time Ravelers, and I think you cut 2 Solitudes. Yeah, I think it's just 2 Solitudes. Okay, I'm going to bring in the Obs and the Shriek Mauls. We have Stipulation, not cutting Riveteer's Ascendancy. So we cut, like, I think 2 Rin and 6, 2 Malakir Rebirth. Okay, double Ragavan with relatively painless hand is pretty good against burn. This hand also has a Riveteer's Ascendancy. I kept 7, so spare the play. Basic Mountain. Croxa feels slow. I mean, Croxa is, I think, better than some of the other cards you have here. Okay, Sanctifier and Vec is not fair. Babble on top, probably shuffling that. Why not block this for your last turn? I guess we should have. Wait, didn't they attack before playing the Sanctifier? What if they just have any burn spell, right? Okay, let's go to game 3. We're just not beating double Sanctifier. So our options are to bring in Endurance to try to block Sanctifier or try to dodge it. Alpha Spike always shits on Sanctifier and Burn Science. It's always so good. I mean, it's good against me who loves to play like all these Rakdos decks, but is it... Sanctifier is like only good against like these various like red-black X decks, right? It's good against like Grixis Shadow. It's not that good against Murktide anymore. It's not that... It's good against Grixis Shadow and like Rakdos Midrange and like Jund Scam or your Rakdos Scam. You know what I mean? Like people play Sanctifier so that they... When like Living In is one of Burn's worst matchups, I think. And Living In is really tough, really scary. They have all this premium 0 mana interaction. They can grief you twice after they Living In. Living In is a nightmare. But Burn players just don't play Rest in Peace. They play Sanctifier because instead of being good against the tier 1 deck that plays that is soft to Rest in Peace, they want to be good against like, you know, the tier 2, tier 3 decks because Sanctifier just feels so good to play, you know. Ooh, Ob is really nice. It's okay against Burn. It's okay against Burn. Living In is very good against Burn. Is that what we're talking about? I think I'm getting Basic Swamp. I don't think it is. I mean, I've played a lot of the Burn deck and I don't know. It's like I feel like the Burn deck doesn't have enough pressure to race Living End. And then like Force of Negation and Grief is like makes it to where the Burn deck runs out of resources so quickly and so often. At least that's been my experience so far. How's Living End favored to Burn? Always seems fair when I play against it. I don't know. That's my experience at least. Seems like a lot of people disagree. Oh, whoops, I forgot that I would get another Scry here, so I should have gone to second main phase, but I didn't miss out on my delirium anyways. Would Rolling Vortex help that matchup? Yeah, that's what Burn players do. They play Rolling Vortex instead. Rolling Vortex is kind of nice that it's what's nice about Rolling Vortex is that it's good against 4-color Omnath too. But in my experience playing against Living End, they're really prepared to answer Rolling Vortex. They have they bring in Foundation Breaker usually. They usually bring in their other interest artifacts and enchantments. And if you kill Rolling Vortex, you're just like ready to lose the next turn. But Rest in Peace is at least like passively exiling the graveyard before they answer it, which is really nice. Also missed out on 3 damage. How did I miss out on 3 damage here? Could have attacked with Voidwalker. Oh, attack with Voidwalker first. Yeah, of course. Vortex and Eidolon are pretty dense against Living End. I don't know. They have a lot of answers to them, and I've also found that like you know, this is your turn 2, right? This is your turn 2 to answer the we ping the Goblin Guide so we can block, and like your opponents can just tank 4 or 5 damage and still win the game if you know, like, you know, this is like Eidolon is a Boros Charm in these situations, and Rolling Vortex is a 5 damage burn spell, but this is not equivalent to a game winning effect. And Rolling Vortex gets Force of Negation, and both of them get griefed really hard. I'm just not really a believer, you know. From my experience, Living End usually can't just tank 5 against burn. From my experience, they can, but I don't know. It's okay, right? You can disagree. Or at the very least, like, you know, is one 2 mana deal 5 spell against Living End? Is that like just having one card in your deck that deals 5 damage for 2 mana? That just makes the matchup good? I don't really think it does. Although we should be good here. Five plus turns. Oh, that's true. I guess you have the passive ability too, for sure. Oh no, we can argue back and forth for a long time. But I spent a long time playing Burn last year, and like I always felt like Living End was one of your worst matchups. I checked Sodic Slay's guide. He calls Burn a tough matchup. Like it's even harder on the draw. I mean, we agree to disagree. Always possible, like, you know, I've had a negative into variance and have an opinion that's just like not reflective of reality though. No space for Bloodghast. We don't really have sack outlets in the deck besides Grist though. Although this is mostly like kind of a for fun brew we put together in the middle of the stream. It's also like, you know, it's definitely really easy to just feel like Living End is a super bad matchup for a deck when like Living End is just absolutely capable of not drawing anybody and crushing, you know? Like Living End just has draws that no deck can beat, and so if you play against enough of those draws in the deck, it's really tough. At the very least, like Burn just can't beat Living End's nut draws. Like when Living End goes Grief You, cycle, Living End with Force of Negation. Like you just can't win with a Rolling Vortex without, like, you know, lots of sideboard cards for the matchup. And Rest in Peace doesn't let you solve that either, but it gives you more sideboard cards too if you play it over Sanctifier. Okay, keep this. Griefing on turn 1 is kind of interesting. I think I'm not going to. I could draw any of my Undying effects. I could draw Riveteer's Ascendancy and regret it. While running both combos in Coco, you can hit either off Coco. I mean, Collected Company is, I think, worse than Goblin Ringleader. Because, like, Ringleader can't be countered, and Ringleader can be vialed in. Oh, brutal. The Ragavan Killer. Noble Hierarch looking a little bit better than Dragon Rage's Channeler this turn, huh? I'm gonna wait one more turn on the Griefs. Snap Cruise Hearse, it feels a bit thin. Yeah, I mean, you don't need that many creatures to crew Hearse. It's something. Fairy Macabre to crew Hearse? I don't know. Also a bit loose. Opponent's got some redundancy in their hand, huh? Just take the copy of the card they don't have, I guess. And I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to bless this Grist to not just kill the Channeler in order to attack, but yeah, just bless the Grist seems a bit better. Ooh, blessing Grist pretty dang good. Amazing. Yeah, I was definitely looking at like Ledger Shredder. Like Ledger Shredder usually crews Hearse, but it's hard to like have like Hearse, Inverter of Truth, Thassa's Oracle in your deck, and then like also keep a low enough mana curve for Shredder. I think that was kind of an issue, but maybe possible. Ding 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 ding. The nut draw. Now I just need a creature to pitch to this Fury, and we'll get a Grief into play. No attack for one. Oh yeah, sorry, I should have attacked for one. We have Delirium now. I guess I can also next turn I can if I draw a land and this Ragavan connects, I can minus on the Grief and bring back a minus sack the Fury, bring back Grief, and that would just give me a way to trigger the Ascendancy to get the Grief back and try to take a Creativity. Although I guess they could just Creativity this turn if they have it. Bins the red card. Oh yeah, no, you have to bin there for Delirium. I think binning there for Delirium is like definitely correct, right? I need to stick with Spyros. I mean, maybe. I'm definitely down to hear how you play Spyro on the deck, but it's also true that extra copies of Ascendancy pitch to Fury and Grief, so I don't feel like discarding to Spyro is a great argument for it. Oh man, I really wish I could, whenever you sacrifice a creature, yeah, I just can't bring anything back here. I can kill the Archon with Grist this turn. And then I can try to Voidwalker. Archon back into play the following turn. I think I'm just going to have to be okay losing my Grist here. And the next turn I can go Voidwalker. I mean, I get the Ragavan back. It's not a huge deal, I guess. Imagine having Asmo to get back after sacking Ragavan. I mean, Asmo just always requires you to play so many cards in your deck, and, you know, and like you have to play Urza Saga. And you can't play Urza Saga in a deck with River Tears Ascendancy, probably. It just, like, almost definitely doesn't fit, but it's, like, one of those things that are kind of, like, nice to say, you know? They didn't attack first, which is kind of a huge deal. So my opponent's going to fetch a Dwarven Mine to sack instead of the Archon. Would not mind drawing a land. Oh, I have the treasure token. I can cast the Grief. And so if they attack with the Archon, I can sack Archon to trigger the Ascendancy, or I can sack the Grief to trigger. I guess I'll just sack the Grief to trigger Ascendancy. We're playing Worst Brought Back. We were kind of having a rough day, so we figured like just having like a fun, goofy brew would be fun for today's stream, but it's not that serious. Okay, I think I have to take the creativity. Sack, grief, get grist. Yeah, we could do that. Could do that. Could sack a grist, get Voidwalker. Oh no, it doesn't count as sacking a creature, does it? Yeah, I think just sacking grief, getting grist seems fine. They're attacking grist, right? Hold on. No, they're attacking me. Okay, they're attacking me, so I'll just put a Voidwalker into play. And then I could take 6. No, they don't have any Archons in the grave. I could block and then exile both Archons here, Voidwalker and Archon. You're down to trade? Yeah, trading's probably pretty good for us. But if they have a removal spell as the last card and they kill my Voidwalker, they just double persist and we lose. Like, I don't really know what we lose to if I just take it. Like, I can like grist to kill the Archon and Voidwalker the Archon next turn. Dude, we triggered Ascendancy twice in this game. Good deck, huh? I think they're just dead. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, it did something. Grist is really good against creativity. You play the 4th one. Shriek Ball doesn't hit their important stuff. Fury seems pretty bad. I think we play Endurance over Fury. Kind of like the 4th Croxa too. Yeah, them not attacking that they could have them attacking with the Dwarf token would have really changed the game. Yeah, it's Riveteer's Ascendancy. It's great Archon of Cruelty tech. I do imagine that's like largely gonna be the game we're playing is like fighting through resolved Archons, but obviously possible to do that here. Nixon 15 months. Maybe a Fulminator or 2. Their mana's rough sometimes. Not on the draw. On the play, I think I'll pretty seriously consider the Fulminator plan. 14 green cards. Yeah, that's fine, right? It's not like maybe the most ideal, but 14 is plenty. And also, like, it's endurance. You know, you just hard cast the card a lot of the time. One lander. It's not a Malak Rebirth, unfortunately. We do have a Grief Feign Death on turn 1, though. And we're on the draw. Yeah, we'll just keep the scam hand, I guess. Yeah, we probably should have Ingachu or Foundation Breaker in the sideboard. Again, we put the deck together on stream. Ooh. Yeah, I just always pitch the Ascendancy. They take the grief, okay. Thank you, Thoughtseize Bug. Could be a good argument for playing Channeler turn 1 to try to get the Surveil, but I think just do that. The Song of Creation combo deck is good. I haven't personally played it, but I've played against it a bunch, and good deck. I think I just take their Polymorphs, right? Okay, Steam Vents persist, mystery card. Yeah, Undying Evil is so bad on the grief with the counter. Maybe I guess it should maybe just be 2 Feign Deaths, right? So yeah, Undying Evil makes it enter untapped, right? This is the difference, and then this enters tapped, but it doesn't have the tension with the Undying Evil. I don't know what's better. I don't think I'm gonna upkeep Undying Evil my Channeler though. I think that's a bit loosey-goosey. We do get to play this as a land at least. Attack my opponent for 5. And then there's a really good chance I'm gonna end of turn just target Undying Evil on the Channeler. Oh, this is, looks like maybe Prismari Command. Kill this loot too. And then if they find an Archon, they can persist. Oh, they're not killing my Channeler. They're making a treasure token. Interesting. We really don't want to see an Archon hit the bin, which we don't, thankfully. Their hand is currently Persist Mystery card. So they have another draw, but even if they had creativity land, they would have just discarded the Persist, and they concede, and we're 2-0. We're 2-1, 2-1. Did punt match 1. Or game 1 of match 1 at least. 2-1, broken, confirmed. Okay, can keep this. Good to go. Grief Scam on turn 1. Guess we bobble them first. My FNM is filled with Riveteer's Ascendancy. What do I do to beat it? Maybe play Pioneer until things cool down a bit. I think I'm pitching the Grist, right? Yeah. So their top card is Stoneforge Mystic. So taking both Steel Shaper Gifts is not going to really do anything. I should definitely take the Paladin. I guess I'll also take the Minmites because I can trade with the Ragavan. Kind of light on sideboard for this matchup. We have a Shriek Maul, Beseiju, maybe another Grist. Although we're a Fury deck, so that's not so bad. That being said, I think I'm just going to go Blood Crypt, both 1-drops here. Kind of hoping they don't play Kaldra. Kaldra's good in Hammer, but a lot of people do just omit it. Oh yeah, Shriek Maul is not Artifact. They're playing Nettle Cyst. Nettle Cyst is probably beatable. I think that I'm actually going to. I was going to attack with the Ragavan and Malika, rebirth it, but now it's just player Voidwalker. Got a race on. I can also maybe feign or Malika rebirth my Voidwalker. Okay, so if they put a Nettle System into play, I don't think we have any reason to fear Kaldra. If they put a Nettle System into play, it's just a 2/2, so we should be pretty safe to attack with the Ragavan. Them having Silent Clearing here is also super, super painful for them. So you're going to block with the Stoneforge Mystic and then activate. So now I'll rebirth my Ragavan. Who do I put in for 7 here? I don't really feel like a Wrenn and 6 ping is going to be a deciding factor. Although maybe letting Ragavan die is kind of good just to have Delirium on the DRC. But, I mean, the Voidwalker just kills them next turn basically no matter what, so it doesn't really matter. They played their lands. If they get a Shadow Spear, they have to have Sigarda's Aid as the last card. They do not have Sigarda's Aid as the last card. Okay. Really good to win game 1 because we are kind of light on sideboard cards in the matchup. I think that you still bring in Shriek Maul. I guess it only hits Paladin and Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, I guess it just misses way too much then. I guess it just misses way too much. I will cut, I think, 2 Croxas and just be on the scam plan. Maybe I want to be on Fulminator Mage on the play. Oh, the draw though. I do think that this deck makes me kind of interested in revisiting the original idea. The original idea, which was splashing green in Rakdos Scam for Riveteer's Charm and Wrenn and 6. I might build the mana base a little different. I might do like 2/2 split or something. We can play Seasoned Pyromancer's Riveteer's Charm. Just a very low curve, lots of card advantage, and lots of like, you know, the 0 mana interactions. Yeah, this is our first league with the deck. I think I'm very unlikely to play another league, to be honest. This is, I know we're 2-1 up a game, but this is mostly just like a for fun league. Opponent's on a mull to 6. I think griefing here to beat Sanctifier and Vex seems worth. Although it is kind of funny, we're just like winning every game with Grief Malak Rebirth. Just don't need that much more, I guess. Oh, I wonder if my opponent has Mana Tithe here. I've seen some hammerless playing Mana Tithe lately. No way, I just called it? I can't. Okay, okay. I'm gonna take it so I can rebirth and then take something else. I've just seen it, you know, I've seen it. I kind of want to take the hammer because the Fury lines up pretty well against the Paladin, especially if they just draw a white source next turn. But I guess they'll play Saga if they draw a white source next turn. Yeah, I'll take a Paladin then. I can't believe I just called it. I've seen it like this. I guess like the second or third time now. I don't really get it. I guess I should say I don't think it like makes a ton of sense to me. But you know, sometimes people will play things you don't understand, but you do know that they're playing them, so it just makes sense to play around them. You know. It's just pretty good draw. I mean, if they cast the Mana Tithe there, and I just don't have a Malak Rebirth effect, it's just so bad for them to have cast it. Mortar Pod? No way. We're not getting Mortar Podded today. Green, black. All right, we'll cast the Ascendancy, and then when they Mortar Pod my Ragavan, I can get it back after Fury. I think this is like quintessential, like, too many tutor target syndrome, by the way. A very easy trap to fall into. Okay, somehow we're 3-1. Somehow we're 3-1. Definitely drawing really well. SNC has given us 3 CMC values so far. Yeah, every single time. Weird day today, huh? Weird day today. I'm not really sure how we got here. But we're here. I'm having a good time. My word is final here. My word is final. Whatever you can appeal, but then after you appeal, whatever I say goes. I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. But thankfully I didn't run into issues there. I did run into issue when I Alpine Mooned my Eldrazi Tron opponent. My Eldrazi Tron opponent didn't understand how, or didn't know that Alpine Moon turned off Tron. I didn't know how to explain why Alpine Moon turned off Tron. I just know I've been casting this card for like 4 or 5 years and it turns off Tron every time. And we called a judge, and the judge ruled with the Eldrazi Tron player, and I appealed, and then they had to have like this long conversation with the head judge, and it was just like so weird to have like such a common modern interaction like take up that much time, and then also like maybe like look like it wasn't going to go my way, you know. The turn 2 Ascendancy? Although maybe better to play double channeler. So we're playing against the Esper Cottage deck, I think. It's actually probably a good matchup. We have so much reanimation. What can I Unearth Grave for? I think I'll just play double channeler. I think I'm getting a little lost in the sauce. play this tapped. Do you remember how the hedges plays like search? Yeah, so like the Alpine Moon removes. I know that Alpine Moon removes like the Urza's subtype from it, and then that's what it actually checks. I know that that's it, but I also like I don't think I have a firm enough grasp to explain beyond that, you know. And like I tried to tell my Eldrazi Tron opponent that, and he didn't agree that that's how it worked, or didn't think that's how it worked, which is fine. I know it's a weird interaction. But it was definitely kind of tense. Okay, we can keep a grief on top. I can't imagine playing Tron not knowing Alpine Moon gets. Yeah, I think that there was someone that like played Eldrazi Tron like a lot in the past and was just kind of like re-registering event. Although I did actually see the guy at like 2 other paper events in like the same time frame. So like maybe, I don't know, maybe my read was wrong there. So if you have an Archon to discard, do they have the persist? If they do persist, I'll feign death and dig for a grist. Angle shooting's also a thing. Yeah, I know angle shooting's a thing. I just didn't have the read that that's what they were doing. I think I'm pretty good about being able to tell when that's happening to me. Okay, so they are just gonna put on burial rites in the graveyard. So I think I'll feign death for... Ooh, interesting. Okay, I'll keep that on top because that's like a good out to the... Oh no, I need to graveyard it. I should have graveyarded it the whole time, but I need to graveyard it for Delirium. So then I missed out on a Surveil. Okay, yeah, and then I can hardcast Grief, and then when they rights their Archon, I sack the Grief and I put the Grist back into play. Or I could cast Aether Mage's Touch, which sounds very fun, but I'll just cast this. I could even hit a Grief off my Aether Mage's Touch. Okay, so definitely take Ephemerate so I don't lose to Persist off the top. Okay, yeah, so they go Archon, I sack my Grief, I put Grist into play. Okay, Riveteer's Ascendancy is only good against Archon of Cruelty decks, I guess. And they just pack it in. Okay, Endurance in, Grist in, Fury out. Third Croaksa out. Bring in Fulminator on the play, not on the draw. We even punted game 1, match 1. This could have been a 5-0 potentially. I can't wait to see this run on YouTube, all the comments. I'm definitely not going to look. I'm definitely not going to look. Especially because I've been rambling so much this league, too. But, this matchup has got to be great. Where Dathi Voidwalker, Grist, Riveteer's Ascendancy, Endurance deck. It's just got to be... It just has to be good. Okay, no green mana. Might be, yeah, if I did 5-0, it would probably be more requested than Orzhov Vampires. Not a very good 6-card hand, but I think you keep this instead of go to 5. Maybe a 5-card hand with Voidwalker, or Endurance is better. So I know my opponent has Prismatic Ending. But I think that they're probably going to persist next turn, so I'll just get Grist going. Maybe I get 2 Grist triggers. Grist is also just like really good against Archon, although worse against Aether Mage's Touch. They missed a land drop, found a land drop. Wait, they ending the token? Oh, so there's gonna ending token, then persist grief, so that way the Archon trigger would get rid of the grief. But I thankfully have endurance, and then don't look at the green card that I have. The Riveteer's Ascendancy triggers Channeler. Maybe I've judged it too harshly. They have a second ending? But which 3-drop will they target? Will Riveteer's Ascendancy take the bullet now? No. Ooh. Okay, just draw another Endurance, though. My opponent doesn't have Unmarked Grave here. They might have Aether Mage's Touch. I think I just slam this and try to put them on a 2-turn clock. They do have Aether Mage's Touch. They didn't set up with Witch's Cottage, though. They're just YOLOing. They hit Mole Drifter. Bummer. They also boarded in Stony Silence, thinking I'm on Artifact-based Graveyard Hate. But I'm not. Flooding out a little bit. A lot of it, maybe. Yeah, I punted match 1, game 1, but we still would have had won game 3. Or, I guess game 2 would have been different, because we would have been on the draw, I don't know. Attack with Mole Drifter, because it gets bounced. Would I say this deck is broke, woke, or good? I don't think I'd use any of those words, but I would say that this is like, that like Rakdos Scam, Jund Scam is a good archetype, and then Riveteer's Charm is a card with some synergy with these cards, but it would be, I'm not going to pretend like this hasn't been the worst card in our draw every single time, and that this is unlikely to be how this deck should be built. But I am having a good time. I feel like I would just started with Ephemerate on Mole Drifter, but probably dead. Yeah, Mole Drifter in hand, Ephemerate on rebound. Yeah, but we are doing better with this deck today than any of the other decks. Honestly, this deck feels like the evolution of what Jund is heading towards in Modern. I mean, so this also like the main reason I even was I just can't win from here, right? I'll take like 1 or 2 more draws, but the main reason I was even like able to like put this deck together is because I've had this version in my drafts for a long time. Just Rakdos Scam, splashing for Riveteer's Charm and Brennan 6, and like potentially sideboard cards too. I had all my like maybe board cards here. And I will say that this league is maybe more interested to return and like actually playtesting this. I haven't playtested it at all. But I thought that like also like having the Channeler Baubles was like pretty. I think just having the super low curve was good with like specifically Riveteer's Charm was kind of my thinking. Okay, game 3. Like you probably want the 6 Undying effect. I wasn't sure if you wanted 5 or 6. This version is playing Thoughtseize. I don't know if you want to play the full 4 Thoughtseize necessarily. A lot of options, obviously. Okay, let's keep this. Fulminators. Oh yeah, I wanted to consider them on the play. I don't think that they're all that good though, especially because like they only need 2 lands to combo. I think we'll be fine without them. Ooh, broke. Yeah, I don't really know why the like Undying Evil plus Grief or Ephemerate Grief is called Scam, but that is definitely the like accepted term for it now. You need to be an entomology expert to really know. So prismatic ending for the grief. Thankfully, I've got backup grief. How to compare MTGO to Arena? It is obviously the interface is really different here, but the gameplay is a lot more like intentional and like fair in the sense that like there's not the rope. You just have a chess. You have a chess clock instead of a rope, which is a pretty big difference. And then you have older formats too, like mod. Like we're playing modern right now. You have legacy on here. You have vintage. You have more draft formats, and you just have like I guess more freedom in the different formats you can play, which I always value pretty highly. So opponent can cottage back Muldrifter if they want to. They can also cottage back Archon and then ooh. It's pretty good. We don't have a creature in the yard to Ascendancy back, which has been like a kind of an obnoxious problem. I guess what I can do... No, I need Grist to be a green card for Grief. Just hardcast the Grief. No. Pile all the cards for your version of Aether Mage FM, but Solitudes would I play it? I don't think you can play the deck without Solitudes. You don't have a density of good creatures to Ephemerates. You don't have a density of good creatures to Aether Mage's Touch, and there's also like not a really good budget replacement, unfortunately. Did I mention Yawgmoth with Ascendancy yet? I don't know. Like the whole idea behind playing Ascendancy in this version was like this version has hold on. So they have... Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to take both Tainted Indulgences, stop their card selection, and then Endurance their graveyard, and they only have 2 Archons left in the deck to hit, and they have a lot of creatures in their hands, so they're kind of likely to whiff on the Aether Mage's Touch after I Endurance, so they can't Cottage. Although I guess this line is bad against them drawing another Cottage and them not going for it this turn. But I'm not sure how hard they play around my last card being Endurance either. Solitude, pitch Solitude. Okay, this is fine. I play some Goblin combo or consider... I'll consider it. I mean, I played a lot of it during the trophy race, and the deck is like not that like new or interesting, so I'm not in any kind of rush. So now if the Aether Mage's Touch, it's just random. So there's a really good chance that they're going to Tainted Indulgence instead. I guess they could just Tainted Indulgence now, the Archon that was in their hand. They could just Indulgence the Archon that was in their hand, and if they draw any Cottage, they can set up for an Archon. It's so hard for them to break on a Cottage too. I'm taking the Touch because they're kind of locked up by Endurance. Yeah, I think that taking the Touch was better. I didn't think that they were going to Solitude my Grief, was kind of my thinking. But reflecting a little bit more, it seemed to be correct to Solitude the Grief. Yeah, Grist is not unbeatable, or yeah, Archon's not unbeatable because we have the Grist, although the Aether Mage's Touch makes it harder to beat. Isn't it weird for me to play against a deck I played with just recently? Not really. It's kind of used to it. Kind of used to it. What I'm saying is Aether Mage's Touch for Fiend's Tower, 3 mystery cards. They go for their own instead to play on Endurance or something. Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't, though, because we just have the Grist in play. Indulgence. So they're not going to Aether Mage's Touch this turn. So they must have bricked on a Witch's Cottage, which is pretty lucky for us for, like, 3 mystery cards to not be a fetch land or a Cottage. No, Aether Mage's Touch has been legal this whole time. I just started working with it because I drafted it in Double Masters, but no, it's been legal this whole time. Okay, they search up the rights, which is fine. The Grist is going to be able to like handle this unless they find Ephemerate, I guess. This is a really good pickup, though. Seems to like just have not milled over any creatures incidentally with this Grist, which is like partially the idea behind playing this card is you get to mill over creatures to trigger your Ascendancy. Voidwalker always 1 turn too late. That should be fine here unless they found Ephemerate, then it's gonna be a little less fine. I like the idea of sacking a Grieve to buy back a Grist. Yeah, I like the idea too. I also guess have it in burial rates. No, sorry, it goes to exile, not Voidwalker exile. Wait, they're not main phasing this, are they? Oh, they're just prismatic ending a token? Okay. I cannot begin to describe how good that is for us. Can you just click Grist Ultimate? No, I have no creatures in my yard. I've just milled over all lands. The only creature I would have in the yard is the Voidwalker if I wanted it. Gonna crack the bubble now because of Endurance. Be interested in trying to draw into that. Yeah, Voidwalker is nuts. Rivertear's Ascendancy has been 3 mana, do nothing, like this whole league though. Although now, if they Archon us again, we sack the Endurance, we get back Voidwalker with the Ascendancy trigger. Have we played against Archon 3 times this league? At least twice. We played against Creativity in this. I don't think it was 3 times though. Where do I replace Ascendancy with if I run this deck back? Yeah, so again, the whole thing was like I had already had this deck in my drafts that I'm still working on, and I've been kind of stuck with this for a while, and so like part of me like taking on this challenge or whatever is me. Okay, they bricked on their touch. Yeah, part of like me like working on this is like to get unstuck on this deck list. So again, playing Riveteer's Charm over Ascendancy, playing Seasoned Pyromancer, and then I think that one difficult thing is like the Thoughtseize split between main and side, number of Kroxa, number of Wrenn and 6, number of Undying cards, but I'm probably gonna work on it, playtest it some, and we 4-1. Riveteer's Charm, easily the worst or Ascendancy, easily the worst card in the deck, the whole league. We put some triggers on the stack. I don't know. The idea was also, of course, like it kind of was incidentally good with like a lot of the other powerful cards we were playing. Ooh, open a Dockside Extortionist. Probably not worth anything on Magic Online though. But I am definitely interested in Dust.